Is it just me, or was this the weirdest Purge sequel ever made? Let's talk about it. Hey, everybody. Got a film review for you here today. You can see I'm at a different location, currently on vacation here near Hayward, Wisconsin. So I was hoping to watch the new Super Troopers film that came out this weekend. But unfortunately, the closest theater to where I'm currently at was over an hour away to go check that one out. So opted to see what else would be a little bit closer. And there was a nice little four screen theater in Hayward, Wisconsin that I was able to check out a new film release this weekend. So we were taking a look at One Night Only from 2026. And this film has an interesting premise. So basically, it's an alternate America where they have banned all premarital sex except for one day of the year, one 24-hour period where you can have premarital sex. And everybody's implanted with a chip that basically tells them when they can do that and not, and indicates whether they are single or married. So if they're married, they're able to have sex whenever they want. And then this particular film basically follows two characters, a man and a woman, as they try to navigate the night, and they keep on crossing paths with each other. And then, ultimately, it's a rom com, so formulaic tells you what potentially happens next. So that's really the premise of this film. So, yes, very much, yeah, it's like The Purge, but for sex. So, very, very interesting premise, which kind of got me in the door. So, this film is really hinges on your two leads, Callum Turner and Monica Barbaro, which are two actors that I know of and I recognize their faces, but I really hadn't seen too much of their work. I think Monica Barbaro may have been in Top Gun Maverick, so I definitely have seen that. But other than that, really haven't seen anything else that I would really recognize either of them from. And then this film boasts a bunch of random cast and cameos from a bunch of B to D list celebrities, I would say, with some of the most random ones being Molly Ringwald and LeVar Burton, which they have an interesting kind of storyline in this film. So I didn't really like this film. I came into it very interested in the premise, and like I do like rom coms. Apparently, this was written directed by Will Gluck, who did Easy A back in 2010, I want to say, and I absolutely love that film. That film is fantastic. Bunch of great comedy, very witty, very well put together, very kind of a frenetic energy to it that I really enjoyed. This one, not so much. Um, it kind of just malaises itself into a very generic rom com outside of the premise that you're present this unique premise. Um, the thing is, the big thing about this is you kind of have to really feel like these two characters over time are like falling in love with each other through all these happenstance meetings with each other. And I just don't really feel it. Like, yes, you ultimately get there towards the end, and I think towards the end I kind of get bought in a little bit. But with all the random meetups that they have throughout the film, just it didn't feel like their chemistry was really there, and the scenarios that they were put in were those that really kind of would get them to fall in love with each other. So that's kind of like that's the premise. That's the big hook of what like they're trying to tell this story is that they're keep on randomly meeting up together and they're eventually falling in love. So um, I didn't really buy into that. That really didn't work for me. The actors themselves, I thought they did a fine enough job. Um, I felt like the male character that he was a bit too unlikable at times. Like they set him up to be a likable character, but then he kind of degrades into this one note character for the vast majority of the film that like I didn't really see our female character really like seeing a lot into him and like falling in love with him. Like I didn't really think that was well developed or well structured with what they did with the male character. He is kind of a likable character, but he kind of again just focused on one thing and it doesn't really get you bought into really wanting to see him succeed throughout the film. So I didn't really think that worked. I thought Monica Barbaro's character, that very much was the stronger character throughout this film, and you really wanted to kind of see her achieve ultimately her goal of trying to fall in love. Um, she had the focus of really wanting to create a connection with somebody in this film, and you wanted to see her succeed. So I thought that character was developed enough. But when you're really focused on this co-lead, half the film that you're presented again just didn't really work for me in regards to like, yeah, I want to see him succeed, and like I want to see these two characters get together because that's where they're leading towards. But you want to see her succeed, him maybe not so much. um, and along with this film, I thought the like scenarios weren't that witty, clever, or even funny, or even that well done. There's a bunch of unique scenarios that each of the characters are presented in, where they're maybe almost going to have sex, and then something happens, and some of it is kind of cringy, as you would see, kind of awkward comedy and things like that. That sometimes I find work, but for this one, it really didn't work that well. And I thought again, the situations that the characters were put in were kind of forced and not really funny or clever or tied in very well to like the ultimate end storyline. There were some that I thought kind of snowballed the film to progress later on into it, but some of them kind of stopped the film dead in its tracks just to present a awkward situation for the character to have to navigate through. Which again, I felt there were more of them that didn't work than that did work in this film. So yeah, unfortunately, I was coming into this one very interested by the premise and ultimately just let down by, I'd say, the overall just the development of the at least the male character, the awkward situations, which then also kind of killed the pacing a little bit. You're flowing in the story, and then you have this kind of awkward scenario happen, and it kind of stops the film a little bit dead, a little, and then tries to progress after that. So I'm going to give this film a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Again, hoping it would have been better. Came in with very little expectation, really knowing what it was about, wanting to see a different film altogether coming into the weekend. So hopefully I'll get the review for the other film that I mentioned at the beginning a little bit later this weekend, but won't be able to get it out right away. All right. Well, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. Did you check out this film this weekend? I'd say this isn't really a big weekend. I assume Spider-Man's going to dominate the box office this weekend. Let me know. What did you think? Did this premise kind of intrigue you? Are you into rom-coms? Is this kind of something you would ever entertain watching? Or are you just going to go see Spider-Man again and dominate the box office? And I have to say a huge thank you to everybody. My Spider-Man non-spoiler review hit pretty big for this channel. Oh, well over 2,000 likes, or views, I should say, not likes. But really appreciate it, and a lot of good conversation in the comments and things like that. So it was a lot of fun seeing the engagement for that particular review. So again, thank you so much. Just trying to, provide my perspective out there, my thoughts on the film. I know there's a huge variety of people on YouTube, outside of YouTube. You have a wide variety of film reviews you can go to. So I really appreciate you just taking the little bit of time to check out what I have to say and hopefully provide a little bit of entertainment while doing so also. But all right, well, thank you again. And as always, if I don't see you again, bye forever.